What is up, everyone? Welcome to Reality Room Podcast with Paul.
Hey, Chris, give me the latest on Hunted, episode 6, Poking the Bear. Yeah, Poking the Bear. That is what it's called.
That's a pretty good name for it, I'd say.
It was only mentioned like at the beginning of it, though. Like one guy mentioned it, and that was it.
Okay. Well, I mean, you only really need to mention it once for an episode name.
Yeah, I know, but like that was mentioned last episode, and I don't know. Whatever.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so we had a great episode of Hunted today. Amazing episode. Yeah. Unfortunately, we one of the teams did get caught. I mean,
I was shocked.
I was not. Listen, like 20 minutes into the episode, I was like, "There's no way."
Yeah,
there was nothing. There was nothing that they could do. But we'll get to that later. We'll do that team last, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. So we have the other four teams. Basically, the other three teams, but the last four teams. So, Chris, which team do you want to start with?
Let's go with Arif and Ahmad. Let's talk about them.
All right. So Arif and Ahmad.
Okay. So last time we saw Arif and Ahmad, they were driving away, and someone was helping them. I think they took a taxi or something like that.
Right. Yeah. They took a taxi. They took a taxi to a mosque, and then they got some guy who was a member of them. Well, I guess a member of the mosque who was driving to, I believe it was Atlanta. Was it Atlanta or was it somewhere else?
Yeah, it was Atlanta.
Yeah, so he was driving to Atlanta, and they jumped in the car with him. That was after, was it Ahmad who did the thing with the swipe last episode with the card? For the cash. Yeah. So yeah, they got into the car, and then they get out of the car, and well, they don't get it. Well, what they call someone in the car? Who do they call, Chris?
I don't have the name on here. But
I think it was Sam.
Yeah, it might have been Sam. But they call a friend. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, they call Sam. My bad. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the other guy that drove them before Sam. My bad. So they do call Sam, and they work for Sam pretty much.
Yeah, basically. So it's like what they were doing like for the first couple of days. They're working for that girl. They're working. Yeah.
With her, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. It makes sense. It's a good strategy, to be honest. Like.
Yeah, and this was a guy they didn't know. There was down the list of chain of phone calls, and we know what their strategy was because you want to remind people what their original strategy was and what they basically just been continuing to facilitate.
They've been trying to use. Haven't they just been trying to use like other people's phones to like get into other contacts?
Yeah, they've been using other people that they know as contacts, so they don't know them personally, and they've been going down like a chain, which the hunters have been like building like a web of in the previous episodes, and so they're at this guy Sam's house. They're basically working. We have a little
drama because Imad and Arif are fasting, and like Imad's getting dehydrating a lot. They get into like a little fight, not really, but it's Ramadan, so
it's Ramadan.
But it ends off with the hunters know where Sam's located. They know about the same guy. How they figured it out, who the fuck knows? Like,
well, I know. I can tell you right now.
All right.
All right. So they got the basically when they drove away from the mosque originally, the people, the hunters went there first, and they basically asked one of the owners, "Oh, hey, our friends were here, yada yada yada," and they found out that the guy was in a blue sedan. So they found the blue sedan's license plate, and they used that to find out who the owner was. And then they used the owner's phone call. They looked at the owner's phone history and found out that they contacted this guy named Sam, who just happened to be like within that web chain, I think. So there you go.
There you go. So now, I guess next episode's the finale. So they're gonna have a hard time because now they know the hunters know their location, so they gotta get the fuck out of there ASAP.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be tough on them. I think. I don't know if they'll get away in time. I really don't know. Yeah, they're on their way right now. I mean, it's gonna be tough.
We'll talk about that after. We're just gonna do like a little recap, and then we're gonna talk about like the final three teams for the finale. So let's talk about Lee and Hilmar, because every month really much going on. I'm surprised they didn't say what day they were on at the whole episode. I was kind of curious on how far they got, but they didn't want to release that. So it says that they were 3 weeks. So 3 weeks in. They're in Atlanta, Georgia. Hilmar's friend Chris, they go to his house. And Aki, one of the hunters, says that he really can't get anything off of their team. They're doing a really good job. They have no idea where he is. Mm-hmm. So what happens? They want to create more chaos. Lee and Hilmar want to trick the fucking hunters. So what do? They make a couple of ads on Craigslist, and I believe they made the phone contact one of the hunters.
Well, I think the first thing they actually notice is a Facebook post by one of the friends in the area, so they know that they're back in. Do you remember what city they were in?
I thought they were still in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, yeah, then it was Atlanta. So they notice a guy that posted something along the lines of, "Hey, do you have a bed some guys can crash on for a few days?" And that's what led them back to Atlanta. And then as like the guys are driving there, they have this weird idea to do like Craigslist ads, like you just said that, right?
Yeah.
And what kind of funny stuff were they posting there, Chris?
They were talking about puppies. They were talking about, I think, couch. I don't know. They were talking about like a bunch of crazy shit. Like one of them was like a bicycle too. Like, do you have the money for the bicycle? And
here's the funny part. They fucking put the hunter's number that they used to contact Hilmar's wife with, and which is just hilarious. I mean, come on. Like I appreciate the humor. I mean, it's really funny. They just contacted them, they call him up, and then the guy when they call the guy up, and they're like, "Hey, it was like, oh, just checking to see if the bike's still for sale," and he's like, "Oh, nope, it's so." I just saw the look on his face.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Oh man.
So
the problem. That's a good take.
Yeah, but the problem that they had was the IP address when they made the Craigslist ad. So they know that wherever the Craigslist ad was made, they had the IP address for it.
Right, and here's the thing: if Lee and Hilmar are smart, they would have used the VPN service, which would have basically used another IP address to basically make those posts. So if they were smart, that's what they would have done. I think they are smart enough to have done that. Yeah. I personally do believe that they are smart enough to have done that. But if they weren't, then they're in hot water right now.
Yeah.
Total hot water.
So that pretty much covers them. Let's go on to our third team. We got English and Steven. So we're going back to Amber, English's sister. They're talking about her at some points.
Yeah, they borrow a phone.
Yeah, they're in Charleston trying to find people with no connections. A good, smart move. It was almost kind of like what the two guy friends were doing.
Right.
Like not like hanging out with like all these like young girls.
That'd be a little strange.
I like a good strategy though. It is a pretty good strategy.
Yeah, and they basically get in contact with someone that they knew from English's college days, like 15 years ago. Remember they were like hugging and stuff when they met up. Yeah, Rebecca. Oh, was it Rebecca?
Right. So Rebecca's parents have like a condo that they can stay at, and she hasn't seen Rebecca in 15 years.
Yeah, so that's one strange reunion.
Yeah.
Like Chris, if I didn't see you for like 15 years, I just gave you a call one day and said, "Yo, I need a place to stay." Like, well, what the hell would you say?
I probably would say, "Okay, sure." I wouldn't care, honestly.
Okay, well,
I'm sure there's more stuff too, though. I'm sure she probably said like, "I'm on this game show."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a couple of things they probably just don't edit in there.
It is an edited show, and that's what we need people to realize at home. Like, typically, if you call someone like that you haven't seen for 15 years and ask them if you can stay with them, typically they might not be too receptive. They might say, maybe check back later, or this is a little out of the blue.
Yeah.
Or you really need a ride? I'm like busy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but it is an edited television show, so they probably do say all that stuff. We've talked about that before, though.
Yeah. The interesting thing I like about this scene is that not only are they trying to get contact with people they haven't seen in a really long time, but they're very careful about how to communicate with other people. They're very careful about like trying to contact Rebecca, trying to use other people's phones, just asking random people, "Hey, like, can I use your phone for a second?" So that way they really can't track anything down. You know what I mean? So they're being pretty smart about it. They were a little paranoid. I will say they were a little paranoid. Like when they were in the forest, they were like, "Oh shit! Like, are we gonna get caught?" And then
exactly. Like right after they went to the house, they went through the forest and whatever, and they just did seem like I don't know. It was Steven who was seeming more on the paranoid side there. He was like, "Oh, the hunter's on to us."
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and also they tracked Rebecca's car too, which was kind of they got so they know that information. And I mean, what else? What else happened? Rachel. Okay, so they go to the brother's house. They go to Rachel's brother's house or whatever. Yeah. So like they have a contact there of like, but it's good though because like they're not gonna look at Rachel's brother as a fucking person to go look into someone's house.
Yeah, and the way they're doing it right now, it just seems very spontaneous, very random, which is kind of ironic because English they pinpoint English as this like big planner girl, right? Like big planner, but most of their moves have been pretty impulsive, I would say, at this point. Yeah. So it's a good adaptation, I'd say. I would say out of everyone, they're the underdogs.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Out of 3 teams left, they're underdogs. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, that was pretty much what happened with them. I don't know. They might pull a surprise on us. Who knows?
Yeah, they might pull a surprise.
They could surprise us. So let's talk about let's jump. The last team, which is very unfortunate because I thought they would have at least made like the final 3 team thing go. You know what I mean?
I mean, they were the only ones going in from the first episode still, so I know.
Felt bad. But let's talk about them. So the problem with David and Emily was that the hunters found out their license plate. That is the thing. That's why they were tracking them down. They did stay in the forest and they slept in the car for a day, but that wasn't enough, unfortunately, because once they got back on the road, hunters needed the license plate. I believe it was an LPR hit. They kept getting a couple of LPR hits, and they're like, okay.
So they basically, on the trackers that they have, they basically been trying to scan out for this license plate, and they basically got hits on it every couple of miles, and that's how they knew they were going more towards one direction, and they basically set up like a trap for them. But to talk a little bit more about David and Emily, I mean, the real issue is still right back in, I believe it was the first episode, with the calendar. The calendar bit them in the ass so many times, and that's the whole reason why they were even in that area in the first place, was because, the calendar said they were supposed to go here. So that's the whole reason. It's all the calendar that really bit them in the ass at the end. I don't know how they would have done if they didn't get that information. I don't know. Yeah. Certainly interesting. But they're racing away in the car.
Teresa finds out that they're calling the mom. And it was very sloppy at the end.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a lot of just driving around and a lot of suspense for the viewer. Although, like 20 minutes, like right in the beginning of the episode, I knew they were going to get caught, and also by like the end of the episode, there was just enough amount of time left in the episode that you kind of just knew, like they weren't going to get away. Like this was going to be like a catch scene. They were building to it. Wasn't that dramatic of a catch scene though? But yeah, and they do try some last minute attempts. They do call the mom, and Teresa tracks the call, actually gets the call, and finds out what their plan is. Basically, they had like an extension of some building somewhere, and they were basically planning to like drive around that area and try to like outmaneuver them, and they figure it out. They get like an aerial view of what the area looks like, and they basically corner them.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's how they got caught. But they did a really good job, I feel like. I will give them credit for that because they were, from the very first episode, like, I thought they were going to probably win it.
They were the favorites.
Yeah.
Definitely the favorites. All right, so
let's talk about the final 3 teams. Because next episode is episode 7 and 8. Well, I guess it's 7 because it's a 1 episode, right?
Yeah, I guess it's a 2-hour special.
Yeah.
God damn it! I have a 12-hour day. For those of you who don't know, I have a 12-hour day. I work and go to class at night, and then I go home and watch this and shoot this. It's all for you guys. Okay, it's all for you guys. Okay, but final 3 teams. So I say we give them a like the Hunters gave them a rating.
Right.
Let's give. Oh, by the way, the Hunters gave, I believe, David and Emily a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
It might have been an 8 out of 10. I believe it was a 7 out of 10. And we do that after everyone's caught. So, let's talk a little bit about, I guess, Arif and Ahmad.
Yeah.
Chances at this point, it doesn't look good, right?
It doesn't look good. No. I feel, yeah. They might get caught, to be honest, unless they get the fuck out of there.
If you were to give like a ranking on like first, second, or third, like first being the best chance of making it to the 28 days, and third being the worst chance.
So better yet, like, why don't we just rank them, like how they're gonna get ranked, like how many days? Is that what you're talking about? Like,
okay, yeah, we can do that. We want to just do like a rank of like 1 and 10 on how confident we are they're gonna get caught. Maybe we could do something like that. Like 1 being like they're definitely gonna get caught, and 10 being like they're not gonna get caught at all.
Then I probably would give them like a 2 or 3.
Yeah, I would give them a solid. I'll give them a solid 4 piece. Explain your 2 or 3.
They've proven in the past that they, like with the Heather or whatever her name was, the girl on the farm, they were able to get away from that because they found out information. So I feel like this might be another way of them escaping from the Hunters. So maybe the Sam guy might give them information just like she did, and maybe they'll find some way to escape.
Yeah,
because they don't have too much information on them. But I feel like out of all 3 of the teams, they have the second to most information.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there, and I give them a 4 for the reason that I think they are definitely going to get caught, but we have seen them in the past escape some pretty narrow situations, and a lot of it's been luck, I'd say, but a lot of it's just been like strategic timing. So if they happen, because we've seen them leave places after they find out about where they are. So if they do that, like they've done in the past, I mean, you might think it's convenient that they just leave in the right time period, but it's happened before. So
yeah,
it's not like it's unlikely. And then the next episode they could be in the next place already. Who knows? They could have left Sam's place, and then we're like working it out in our heads. Like, okay, now they're more like an 8.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. If next episode, if they get away from Sam's, they're like at a 7 or an 8. Yeah. I think if they don't, it's more like a 2 or 3. But right now, I'm doing a little bit in the middle, so we'll give them a 4.
I think they're gonna, out of the 3 teams, I think they're gonna get caught second. Out of the 3 teams. Now let's talk about Lee and Hilmar. I have a feeling they're gonna win it, and this is why. I feel like they have a really good strategy that's going on. The only thing they have on them is the IP address, but I mean, that's water under the bridge. You know what I mean? Like they can somehow get away with that.
If they use the VPN, they're fine. And some people are saying there are ways to track a VPN. Yeah, there are ways to track a VPN, but not if you know what you're doing. And I'm pretty sure Lee and Hilmar would know what they're doing. And if they don't, then that's why they're going to get caught. They deserve to be caught.
Yeah.
That's why they get caught. They deserve to be caught. It's like what Ben Owen said, they're leaving behind breadcrumbs. You can tell like he's a little visibly like, we're talking about that. He's like a little bit like annoyed with them.
Yeah, right.
But he sees them as good adversaries.
Yeah, he calls them strategic. Yeah, he knows they're strategic.
So I'd give them a, I guess a 7. I'd give them a 7.
Yeah, that's good.
If there has to be a winner, I'd give them a 7.
I feel like they are going to win it, though.
Yeah, that was my bet last episode.
Yeah. And then we have English and Steven. I feel like they will get caught first. Only because of the common attractions and shit, and they're like, "Oh, we found her." Like, really?
I didn't see. I don't see the common attractions actually.
Again, it could just be like a bullshit. Like, "Oh, we found her," and then like, because they're like running out of the car. So like, who knows? It could be someone else too.
Yeah, I mean, they edit this stuff like crazy.
Yeah, they might just edit it in a certain way, but I think they have an okay shot. They might surprise us.
Yeah,
It might. She is strategic about her shit. I think even though she does get paranoid, she's somehow able to bounce back and like hide really well from the hunters.
yeah, and here's the thing about English and Steven. They're the big. They would be the biggest twist of a winner ever. And here's why. Because as of right now, I don't know what their strengths are, and I mean, I do know what their strengths are, but I don't really know too much about them right now. You know,
Yeah.
like to me, they're like an even five. They could go either way. I have no idea. Like they're a wild card. Like a lot of people would just give them like a one right off the bat. I would give them a solid five because I have no idea.
Right.
Like the hunters right now, they don't know where they are.
Yeah, exactly.
They know what city they're in, maybe.
Yeah.
But they don't know the exact location. So I don't know. It's tough. What rank would you give?
If one being them definitely getting caught and then 10 like not, I probably would give them 4 or 5.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. It's gonna be an interesting final episode, though. I mean, this has been a good series. I like the pacing of the series a lot.
Yeah, I like it too. It's definitely interesting. I actually have a little speculation about future seasons. So you know how if they have future seasons, So you know David basically said that he would do this again if he could.
Yeah.
I feel like they would bring him back in a couple of seasons if they keep this going. I feel like they would. I feel like he could be the face of Hunted, and he basically got to keep going, and because we have faces in these other reality shows, Big Brother, we have like these big names, and in Survivor we have like these big names. I don't. Do I really have to give examples here?
No, you don't.
Yeah, I mean, Game Changers. Just look at the whole cast. Most of the cast. And Big Brother, Jeff, obviously, and Dr. Will, Boogie. I guess I gave names anyway. But yeah, David could be Hunted's face.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that's what it is too, and that's why he's been in all these episodes for as long as he has been. And I feel like I like this series a lot because it's not too long. We have a whole bunch of people playing. And it keeps it like a team gets out like every episode. It keeps the flow going, and it makes you think like, oh, like what if this person does this? And it gives you a lot of insight on stuff that you never knew about. And I really like this about Hunted.
Yeah, exactly, and it really shows you that how tough it would be to really go on the run if we ever really had to. So for all you future criminals out there. Maybe just don't be criminals. There's a suggestion. Maybe just don't be bad guys. So we don't have to have Teresa and Ben coming after your ass.
Do we want to say anything else before we wrap this up?
I think did we hit 200 subscribers? Well,
we are getting there. We need one more subscriber to get 200. For the love of God, be that person. We will give you a shout out and stuff. You will be our best friend.
I will. Okay, I guess we'll give you a shot. I mean,
yeah, I mean, like we're very close. We've been doing this for almost a year now. It's almost been a year. I think maybe next month we'll start by a year, but
yeah, next month. Yeah, next month we'll be going on a year. For those of you who don't know, Big Brother Canada will be starting in about 2.5 weeks, maybe 2.5, 3 weeks. I think it's the 15th. And I think Survivor is starting with the week before that on the same day. Is it Wednesday the 8th? I don't know. I actually have a calendar right here. What am I doing? There's literally, it's Wednesday the 8th and Wednesday the 15th, respectively. The 8th for Survivor.
So we are going to be covering a lot. We have a lot on our plate.
Our buddy Nate will be doing that, along with maybe another surprise. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right, so Chris, any last words? Any reality room news, maybe?
Well, not really, other than like Big Brother US, like they're getting their casting ready. So you guys want to apply for Big Brother? You think you have what it takes? Then go on the website, make a video, make it cool. You got to go to the open casting call, go to one. If you don't want to make a video, I would suggest doing the fucking video. The video is really good, and you can like really sell yourself.
Why not both?
Can't do both. Can't do it this year. That's what they said. I don't know.
They said he can't do both. What the?
No, you can't do both of them.
That's so stupid.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. If you're planning on doing both, spoiler, don't. I don't know. That's bull. That's so stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what different people look at that? Whatever. What? You know what? I bet it was. I bet like we had a casting director, like a local casting director, looking at it in one city, and like the people who were looking at it, like all like the videos looking at it, and they were both looking at the same person, and there was like some little like conflict between them last season. I get that. Yeah. That's almost definitely what it was. And this year they're just like, screw it, we're not bothering with this bullshit anymore. Only one.
Yep.
Pick it.
Yeah, but if you guys want us to do any other reality shows, like tell us in the comments and we'll do it. I'm sure there's a couple of reality shows that are out there too. So I heard like the challenge, and I heard the challenge was pretty good. People were telling me about that. People were talking about the Real World. It's on like every half year. I don't know
what the hell that is.
Tell me that too. But let us know in the
catch up on Survivor first.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Bachelorette. I mean, I see your sequester peeps posting about it a lot.
Yeah, they're into that stuff.
I mean, it is reality TV.
Yep. All right, guys. I mean, that covers up Hunted episode 6. Poking the bear. And until next time, guys. Peace.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Yep.